After a long day at work, Akajuku reflects on an upbringing that was quite uncommon.
I grew up a little bit in Kano, where we were living at the time before the religious crisis, and I was moved back to the east to live with my aunt, and while my father and my mom stayed back in Kano. And there was a telephone. My father had a telephone. There was a telephone exchange in Oko where I was living. But my dad, I never communicated or communicated my needs to my mom and my dad through the telephone. My mom will always prefer, and that was what she ensured I did, to write her personal letters, to express myself through my writing, how I feel about where I am, how school was, any challenges I was facing at the time. And this shaped me a lot in terms of when my mom received those letters, she would go through them and make corrections of my grammar and everything. And that was a way for her to get a feedback of how my education was going on. My separation from my parents really shaped me, helped me become who I am today, because I learned to become independent right from an early age, because my mom wasn't there, my father wasn't there, it was just my auntie. That's not to say that my auntie wasn't there for me or to provide me with the needs I had, but there's a difference between having an upbringing where the father is not there and the mom wasn't there. So I wanted to solve my problems myself, not take my problem to someone else, which I think had made me become who I am today in terms of having a mind of my own, in terms of trying to solve problems, seeing where I can help bring solutions to problems rather than having people help me.
Despite the difficult separation with his family, discipline was instilled at an early age by demanding parents.
I used to be very naughty. I used to be very careless with my books. I remember I was living with my aunt at the time, and if you bring my school bag, if you buy me an exercise book today, the next day I must have shred them into pieces. And this time around, my dad came back from Kano and was to leave. My aunt had reported me to him, and he called me into his room. One morning, I was prepared to leave for school. He was like, "Aka, let me see your books." I was bringing them out. They were all in a bad shape. And he emptied my bag. Sand was coming out. Bottle caps were coming out as well. He locked the room. Already he had got canes to flog the hell out of me. He did, and after that day, I became a changed person in terms of how careful I am with books. If you ask of me exercise books I used in my Primary 3, Primary 2, I will provide them neatly. It got to an extent while I was in secondary school, in the university. One of my aunts who stays in Lagos, who teaches in a school in Lagos, had to ask for some of the books I used in my primary school to teach in Lagos. And if you give me any plain sheet today and ask of it in the next 10 years, I will provide it the way it is. And that has helped me in terms of how meticulous and how organized I can be.
Known to have an inquisitive personality, Akachukwu says his background shaped his unique approach to leadership.
I grew up wanting to challenge the norm. I grew up wanting to disrupt the system, trying to change things, especially in radical ways. And I'm also driven to a very strong extent. So as a leader, I've found that character trait to have put in me the desire to understand something, the desire to have a good comprehension of a problem, because there is never one side to a problem. There are different sides. It had made me to have questions to ask about a solution, because if you don't understand a problem very well, you never come up with a solution that will solve the problem you want to solve. So as a leader, that has helped me to also be engaging, because if you are someone that likes to ask questions, you are not asking one person, you want to have diverse views. So that has helped me to, in terms of wanting to solve a problem, I would be engaging with lots of stakeholders that will bring diverse perspectives to the work I do, to problem solving.
Hailing from Anambra State, a 9-year relationship with former Vice President Dr. Alex Ekweme changed his life.
He was someone that was very interested in community, in good governance, in accountability, in transparency of one's character, of one's involvement in anything that he found himself doing. That has helped me over the years. I've known him personally for over close to 9 years. And through those periods, he would tell me to be consistent in the beliefs I had. He had told me that it's very important to be a man of my own words, to stick to the things that I believe in, to pursue excellence, to be someone that is driven by passion and purpose. And that purpose should be something that that is committed to the advancement of the entire population, not just myself, and my family, but a purpose that helps the community to be a better place. And from my interaction with him, he had impacted on me to be someone that volunteers to good causes, to give money to charity and to help fund the education of other people, which I'm currently doing.
In the life of Akachukwu, we see that we are not defined by job titles or academic certificates, but rather by what we contribute to the greater good with whatever little we have. Never see yourself as too small or too disadvantaged to make a difference. You have hands to work and words to encourage another. Think about how you can empower yourself by empowering others to be their best, and then act on it without further delay. I am Ajuri Ngelale. Until next time, lead where you are, and followers will find you.